Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Saban. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So let's get into this story here. So, as you guys know, the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the San Antonio Spurs last night in Game 5, right, to take a 3-2 lead in the series, which means that now OKC only needs to win one game before this entire this entire season is essentially their season is over, and they're going to the finals and the Spurs season is over. They ended up beating them 127 to 114. And if you looked at it from the Spurs side, Julian Champagne, he had 22 points. Victor had 20 and only 6 rebounds. That's not good enough. We're going to talk about Victor in a minute. Stephon Castle had 24 points, and he only had 3 turnovers, so that wasn't bad. But De'Aaron Fox didn't really play a good game. He was only 4-15 from the field. But if you look at the Thunder side, Chet Holmgren had 16 and 11. Isaiah Hartenstein had 12 and 15, so those guys were monsters on the board. Jared McCain had 20 points. SGA had 32 points. He did have 6 turnovers, but he shot, and he didn't shoot particularly well from the field, 37% from the field. But he did get to the free throw line 17 times. We're going to get to that in a minute. And he shot 94%. And Alex Caruso, who I believe came off the bench, had 22 points on 50% shooting from the field and 50% shooting from 3, hitting 4 out of his 8 threes. But going into this game, there's the big story, which we all know, which is the flopping, right? The flopping is the issue. We did a show about it the other day. And the Oklahoma City Thunder now are becoming synonymous with flopping. Like, it's beginning to become their reputation. They're just a bunch of flopping ass floppers, right? And last night's game was no different. There was some egregious flop jobs by SGA and some of his teammates, and there was one in particular that is setting the internet ablaze. This particular post here has 2.1 million views on Twitter. It's crazy. But before I even show you this footage, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, PrizePicks. All right, guys, the regular season is wrapped up and the NBA playoffs are finally here, and there's no better way to cash in on all of the high-flying hoop action than PrizePicks, a preferred partner of the NBA. Every bucket, every dime, every win means when you're making lineups on PrizePicks. And here's something you didn't want to sleep on. PrizePicks has the Do It Live 2026 NBA Finals sweepstakes going on right now. Make a $5 lineup with at least one live NBA player pick during the playoffs, and you could win a trip for 2 to the NBA Finals. That alone is reason enough to check out PrizePicks right now. I've been making lineups on the Celtics and Lakers players, and it makes watching the playoffs so much more fun. It's simple. Just pick more or less on player projections across basketball, baseball, hockey, and more. You can even pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup with stacks. And if your picks get off to a hot start, cash out early with easy payouts before the game even ends. PrizePicks is now available in all 50 states. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, a preferred partner of the NBA. All right, perfect. So what we want to do is we're going to play this video for you guys now. I want you guys to watch SGA flopping his ass off, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show.
That's why the Spurs are down.
Thunder have hit every one of their 16 free throws. Castle, no. Champagne foul. Now he's got 3.
And free throws for SGA. Not shooting the ball well. 3 of 9 from the field, but he is perfect from the line.
So you guys saw that there, but it doesn't stop there. We have a whole bunch of others. So what we want to do is we want to play these other 2 videos of his teammates flopping. So take a look at that there.
His first points here of the night, only averaging 8.5 in the series. Contacts the foul on Johnson. That'll be his second. I say only because he averaged 13 in the regular season. SGA back in at the 7:06 mark. Where's the foul, Riz? There is none. Oh. Okay. There is none. Play on. This is the conference finals. Let's go. Harper. Retained contact, and he gets McCain from behind.
And then I want to now show you a photograph of Tony Brothers giving, I think Lou Dort is his name, giving him a look that I don't even understand. And he got the whistle in his hand like, bro, we here for you. Take a look at this picture. Is crazy, bro. Take a look at this picture here. So you see it there. You then couple that by when we're watching the game, like when the ball went off of Chet Holmgren's foot. It was clearly went off his foot, or where the Spurs coach was trying to call a challenge and the refs literally acted like as if they did, like they acted like he wasn't even there. And I'm watching this, I'm like, yo, what is going on here? But let's go to that first picture of one with the first video we showed y'all with 2.1 million views. Let's just go through the comments, man, because it's crazy. We got one here from Marcus from the Bronx. Look at this one here. This is pretty crazy. You got another one of from Zeno. He's just showing SGA and Michael Jackson. You got this one there. Another guy said the legend of the fall. You got SGA. You got SGA here, man. It's crazy, yo. Like people are just roasting this dude. The other guy said the only trophy this clown deserves is an Oscar because he sure is great. He sure is a great actor. The other guy said this era of the NBA is a joke, not worth watching. Another person says, how long do we have to live with this? Are the refs blind? Do the video playback mean anything anymore to the league? If they ban Iverson's crossover for calling it carry in the late 90s, why are we awarding floppers like SGA with free throws, right? It's just like people have just been roasting and toasting, not just him, but the entire team. So let me give you guys like a macro viewpoint of all of this. NBA fans do not want the Thunder to win the title. They don't want them to win. And right, before I forget, let's talk about Victor Wembanyama before I forget. Victor needs to really step it up. He needs to. He's simply not good enough with getting himself involved in the offense at times. There's some games in this series, I think 2 games so far, where he's not assertive enough. The other thing that I've noticed is that Victor needs to put on some more weight because he's not imposing his physicality on the defenders the way he should with a player for that side. His length and all of that affects the game, especially from the defensive side of the floor. But Victor needs to get better. And if the Spurs lose, you're going to see the holes in his game. He needs to put on more muscle and really, really, really find ways to be effective in the game and get shots closer to the basket. Him standing at the free throw line takes off so much pressure off of the team, off of the defense, right? The other thing that I want to call Victor Wembanyama out for, what is this thing we're not speaking to the media after the game? Victor Wembanyama did not even speak to the media. That is not a good thing I'm seeing. And you guys know I like Victor Wembanyama. He's a young star. But there's certain behaviors that we need to be cognizant of as we begin to follow these younger stars. LeBron had his own too when he was younger. He was great, but he had his little weird things, which ended up becoming massive problems later on. Like the thing where he would be dancing on the sideline when the team was losing, all of just the antics, and then it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And now he's an egomaniac. Like he is who he is now. So these are things that Victor needs to be called out for. You need to speak to the press. I don't care how you feel. Because number one, it sets a bad example. And number two, it shows you're not mentally tough enough to handle the pressure. I don't care how pissed off you are. It's part of your job and it's the playoffs. So Victor needs to be called out on that. And I'm a huge Victor Wembanyama supporter, but there's no excuse for that whatsoever. None whatsoever. You got to go face the music. We're not going to be up here trashing and making fun of SGA for flopping and all of this, but when it's time to face the music, you're nowhere to be found. That's inexcusable, and that's not going to work. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We'll catch you guys on the next show. Peace.